The world can be a dangerous place. Gear up with the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Equipping your firearm with laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com and receive a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
Today on Gun Talk,
California DOJ has figured out this is a great way to get guns out of California.
the CEO of a major gun company says with the California micro-stamping scheme, there will be no semi-automatic pistols for sale in the Golden State in 2 years.
My prediction is within a year or two, they're all gone. Everything's off the list.
This gun ban scheme is headed to your state.
Well, it has the net effect of denying people their Second Amendment rights.
Plus, a gun rights group may have the secret to beating back gun bans. Tom also talks with Max Michel, a speed shooter extraordinaire. And a citizen held at gunpoint for open carrying files a federal lawsuit to protect his rights. All this and more now on Gun Talk. Call 866-TALK-GUN-NOW to join us on the air. Here's Tom Gresham.
Well, hello and welcome again. Tom Gresham here. Yes, it's Gun Talk, and we have a lot. I'm telling you, a lot to talk about today. We are very much going to be talking about the California micro-stamping scheme. It is, and trust me, it's coming to other states. You want to hear about this. It is the ultimate gun ban by not banning guns. All you have to do is require a technology be incorporated into the guns. And oh yeah, the technology does not exist. It doesn't work. It can't be applied. And so Ruger and Smith & Wesson so far have said, nope, can't do that, not going to do it, so our guns aren't coming into California. Well, we'll have the CEO of one of those companies predicting that in 2 years there will be no semi-automatic handguns on the roster, the official roster in California. Lots of stuff going on there. We also have a citizen who was held at gunpoint by the police for open carrying. Now, open carrying is legal where he was. Absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. He's filed a more than $500,000 federal civil rights lawsuit. We'll talk about that also. We're going to talk about lawsuits designed to beat back the California handgun bans. And in fact, got to talk about the whole idea of what's going on with the lawsuits. They're taking advantage of the Heller and the McDonald decisions out of the Supreme Court. We're getting some successes, but it really is 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's slow progress. I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting to watch the whole thing. And frankly, everybody needs to be involved, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, we'll take your calls, your comments. If you got a question about a particular gun, if you want to know about shooting a particular gun, give me a call right now, 866-825-5486. Or just dial this way. Go 1 Tom Talk Gun. That's the number 1, and then Tom Talk Gun, and that'll get you in here. All right, it's a pleasure right now to bring in frankly, the best speed shooter in the country, and has been for some period of time. Max Michel is a champion shooter and an instructor. Hey, Max, how are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Well, we're doing great. It was good to see you out at the SHOT Show, even though it was a little bit chilly out at the range. Man, I can't believe you were having to do speed shooting demos in cold wind. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I tell you, it's tough. It was good to see you guys, but it was a cold day out there for sure.
It was freezing. So, for those who don't know, when people ask you, they don't know, how do you explain to them what your job is? Because it's got to be interesting.
It is. It's tough. You know, a lot of times I go to the school functions and talking with the other moms and dads, and, you know, everybody's talking about what they're doing, and it's very difficult to explain. You know, I'm a professional competitive shooter. And then, of course, the question becomes, well, what the heck's that?
Yeah.
So then I have to try to explain to them I'm an action shooter. It's more of a basically running an obstacle course with a handgun. And the fastest guy and the most accurate shots is going to win the competition. So it's a lot of fun, but it's very difficult to explain.
Exactly. It's got to make for interesting conversation. And, you know, I know people are thinking, well, probably what happens is, you know, you're going to get some negative comments. I bet you get people say, really? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. A lot of folks want to hear more about it, and then after you open up to them what it is that you do, then they say, usually the next thing is, well, you know, how can I get involved? Or I have a handgun by my bed and I don't even know how to use it. Can you help me out? Kind of a thing. So it definitely sparks the conversation, and it brings up a lot of training opportunities as well.
I have to share with you a quick story. I got an email from a concealed carry instructor 3 or 4 weeks ago. He said he gets a call like 11 o'clock at night. This lady calls, and she had taken the class 3 or 4 years previously, and she says, I think there may be somebody in my house. She says, is my gun loaded?
Oh, no.
Oh, no is right. Kind of goes to the point of needing to get real training. The concealed carry class, all that is just kind of pulls back the curtain slightly to let you peek in, but it's not really training. Talk to me for a second about what you do in terms of training. I mean, you're not doing concealed carry training. You're doing training for competitive pistols. People can actually take classes with you, right?
Correct, yeah. We do offer concealed carry handgun courses now for Louisiana, which actually run through my father. I let him handle that part of it. But as you said, it's a very kind of basic course that you need for more of the laws and the regulations of what's going on within our state, and when not to carry and those types of things. And then once they get out of that is when they can come and see me. And that's basically, most of my courses are competitive, based around the competitions that I compete within. But because of what I do is basically shooting high rounds, multiple shots on multiple targets at high rates of speed, it's very applicable to what, folks are wanting for concealed carry and self-defense purposes as well. So I get a lot of that carry over. So now I'm not just teaching competition stuff anymore, but I do some law enforcement, military work, but also a lot of folks that are just wanting to be faster and more accurate, because it does apply to what they do as well. I
did not realize that. So where do people go to find out more about your classes and how to sign up?
Yeah, maxmichel.com. That's MaxMichel.com, and you can click on the training tab from there, and you can see more about my courses in that area.
Okay, it's Max Michel, Michel, 1L at the end, maxmichel.com. I just clicked on the training there. There you go. That is fabulous. I guess we ought to at least tell people a little bit about your background, and particularly about the idea of the AMU and the fact that these days you can actually get a college scholarship in shooting.
Yeah, I was fortunate. 17 years old, I joined the Army, and I spent just over 10 years at the Army shooting team, the Army Marksmanship Unit down at Fort Benning, Georgia. And it's a great opportunity for anybody who's involved in shooting, and as you said, scholarships, because I was able to get I got a full degree, my 4-year degree. It took me 5 years to get it. As a full-time soldier, it was difficult doing it at nights, but I was able to get it in criminal justice and a minor in psychology. And, it's just a great opportunity for those who want to serve their country and be able to shoot full-time as well and give back, because it wasn't just about shooting. Tom, we shot, we won matches, and that was great. But what we did there is we took the knowledge that we learned, whether it be me on a speed shooting range or our long-range rifle guys in the competitions, and we gave that back to the soldiers and made them better at what they do to protect our freedom that much better.
Basically, you guys were the NASCAR guys who came back and taught people how to drive better. I mean, for an analogy.
Exactly. Well said. Yeah, it's exactly right. And it wasn't just from the technique standpoint, but it was very much that. But it was also from a gear standpoint. Maybe the guys at 3rd ID on Fort Benning wanted to try a new optic. Well, our rifle guys would use it in competition and let them know how it worked out for them as well. And putting things to the test against some of the best shooters in the world in any event can give you good feedback real quickly.
Absolutely. I got a caller here who got a question for us. I'm going to take Phil's on line 3 out of Bossier City. Hey, Phil, you're on Gun Talk with Max Michel.
How's it going, Tom? Good to
Excellent.
Talk to you,
How can we help you?
Question for you is, it's been a few months. I bought recently a 357. It's a Ruger. And ammunition for in 357 caliber is like practically impossible to find. All I can find even on, say ammo to go, which I got some from them, but it's only low-grain 38 rounds. What's the deal there, do you know?
I think what you're running into, and Max, help me out. I mean, we're still seeing shortages in some areas of ammo. In some places, you can get 9mm practice ammo. That's available now. But there are some things, Max, that still are hard to find, aren't there?
Right, most definitely. Even me as a pro shooter and many of my pro shooter friends and peers, we still, are having trouble getting ammunition, and we're calling one another, hey, can I bum a few rounds here and there, and I'll get you back next time, kind of a thing. So they're still definitely having some issues for sure.
Phil, the only thing I can think of is exactly what you're doing. You're checking online. You're checking with the local guys. Put some orders in with your local dealers and honor them. Don't okay, I'm going to put an order in, but if I can get it from somewhere else, then I'm not going to honor it, because they've got to know that if they order it for you, that you're going to take it. But I wish I had a solution for you, but there it is. It's tough to find ammo. I wish you luck with it, man. Thanks for the call. Max, give me an idea. How much, with your practice and competition shooting, how many rounds will you go through in a month or a year?
Typically in a month, in a year, I'll shoot anywhere from 60 to 80,000 rounds a year. And this year I'm trying to do more. I have the World Championship, which is every 3 years. And It's the first time it's back in the U.S. in nearly 30 years. So I'm really trying to up my training, and I'm trying to eclipse that 100,000 round mark by October. But it's becoming difficult, as you mentioned, because of the ammunition. So I'm finding myself now, cutting back on my training. For me, cutting back is 300 to 500 rounds a day is what I'm shooting now, and I'd like to be shooting more than that. I'd like to shoot 600 to 800 rounds a day, but I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to find myself in July with no ammunition. So I'm trying to do my best at the moment. What
calibers do you shoot for in competition and in practice?
I shoot a little bit of everything, Tom. 9mm, 38 Super, 40, 45. But primarily right now I'm shooting a 38 Super round.
Okay, yeah, and I can imagine 38 Super's got to be harder to find.
Exactly, and with these high-end competition race gun type deals, they become even more difficult because it's pretty much hand-loaded or, specifically loaded by some large manufacturer exactly to your specs. So you have to find all the components and ship them over to them and let them load it correctly. And you can't just go run to Walmart and buy a box of 38 Super that's going to work specifically for your competition handgun, which makes it more difficult.
Well, tell me about this competition, October. Where is it going to be held?
It'll be in Frostproof, Florida, just south of Orlando. It's a really, really great training academy down there, and really became pretty much the premier shooting facility for the action shooting sports and what we do. It's close to Disney World, so families can go out. In fact, I spent 2 weeks there last year shooting a couple major championships and brought my family. We rented a house, and kids went to Disney. I went to the range, and we met up in the evenings. It's a great place to hold a competition, and it's a great facility with lots of targets and everything you need there.
Oh, man, sounds great. Hey, Max, hold on a second. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about some gear. There's some new stuff out there, particularly from SIG, and I know you work with them. We can talk about some of the stuff that I had a chance to shoot, and you had a chance to show me at the SHOT Show. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Tired of overpaying for one concealed carry holster after another that is flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? At Alien Gear Holsters, less than $30 gets you a professional quality holster that's super stealthy and ultra comfortable. Every Alien Gear holster is backed by a forever warranty, a 30-day test drive, and free shell trades for life in case you buy a different gun. AlienGearHolsters.com. AlienGearHolsters.com.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
Looking for shooting instruction but don't know where to go? Well, we have it, and you can access hours of training and safety videos, which you can watch on your home computer. On GunTalkTV.com, we have top competitive shooters, the best in self-defense trainers, and folks who have hunted all over the world, helping you learn which gun to buy, how to use it, how to store it safely, and everything else you need to be a safe and competent shooter. We also have gun makers showing off their newest rifles, shotguns, and handguns. Doesn't matter if you're a veteran shooter or a complete beginner. You'll find what you need at GunTalkTV.com. You can check it out for free, and you can get full access for only $5.95 a month. That gives you unlimited access to hundreds of videos, and we're adding more all the time. Run the videos over and over to make sure you understand what's being said. Skip around. You're in control. Get smarter. Shoot better. Visit GunTalkTV.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle combines features of the Ruger American Rifle and innovations of the 1022 Rimfire Rifle to appeal to all bolt-action enthusiasts. It features a modular stock system that provides comb height options for scope or iron sight use, a power bedding integral bedding block system for outstanding accuracy, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, and a 1022 style rotary magazine for reliable feeding. The Ruger American Rimfire Rifle, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
Everything you need to know about what's going on at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas. Tom is coming to you direct from the Crimson Trace booth on the show floor. Now, back to Tom.
Well, actually, we're not at the SHOT Show, but we are running the liners from the SHOT Show. So anyway, that was last week. We are actually live with you right now, talking with Max Michel, shooter extraordinaire, speed shooter. And Max, you, for people to know, you specialize in handguns. You're not a three-gun guy. You're shooting the speed handgun events, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so you are affiliated with SIG, and when I saw you, you were at the SIG event showing some new stuff. They have been real busy. You might just kind of touch on two or three things that they brought out that are pretty cool.
Yeah, SIG is just an unbelievable company, and we continue to grow and grow. And each SHOT Show, and I just look around at the new products. This is my fifth show now with SIG at SHOT, and it's just amazing to see where we came from just 5 years ago. So I can imagine the guys that's been there for 10 years, what they must think, and it's just incredible. But obviously, with the 227, the new 45 is our classic line gun is amazing. We've had that now. Last year we launched it, and but having it out there available for folks to see and touch, and shoot and things like that has been very successful for us. But for me, what I see as a company and where we're going and different things that we're doing is you have to mention the 320. I mean,
Yes.
The 250 is completely modular gun. I feel it's accomplished what so many others have tried to accomplish in being able to change the entire grip circumference, not just the back strap, as well as sizes, shapes. I mean, there's hundreds of different ways you can really set up that pistol with one serial number part. But it was in double action only, and that was some of the, I wouldn't say complaints, but that was some of the concerns, and some of some folks wanted something different. And
they want options.
And the 320 brings. Yeah, exactly. They want options, correct. And that 320 brings exactly what the 250 does, but in a striker fire version. And it's really incredible to see what SIG has come to, being and having that double strike capability for so long and never really having a striker fire gun, and to raise so many eyebrows like we did at SHOT and bring it out there. And I actually got to shoot it as well on range day for the first time, and it was just a hoot to shoot as well. Very, very good gun.
And this is SIG's first striker fired gun, isn't it?
Correct, yes.
So it is, when we say modular, we're talking about you can swap pretty much everything out. You can do different calibers, different size frames, because the frame itself is not the register or the serial numbered part. So the frame is just an accessory that you can swap out.
Correct, yeah. So you can have your full size, your compact, subcompact, and within that you have the small, medium, and large size grips. And as you said, it's all with one serial number item part. So if you want to carry today and put it in a compact, or you want to go target shooting later and put it in a full size, you can do that with one serial number part, which is pretty unique.
Yeah. Now, another one that got my attention was the P290, but in 380. That's a pretty slick rig.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Again, it's just another great example of what we're doing. And, having it in 380 just gives folks another option of what to carry and when to carry.
And it's got a really good double-action trigger pull. It's like having a really slicked-up trigger job on a double-action revolver, but you've got it in a semi-auto. And with the 380, you get very little muzzle rise. But, with the ammo we have today, the 380 is a very viable self-defense choice.
Right, exactly. It's all about the choice of what ammo you're putting in it for self-defense purposes, without a doubt.
Exactly. Let me ask you a question. If you had to give one or two tips to somebody who says, I just want to learn to shoot a little faster or maybe a little bit more accurately, is there a drill or one or two things that you tell them to focus on?
Yeah, and people hate to hear it, but I tell them to go back to the fundamentals. And I continue to work on my fundamentals. In fact, I shot 4 days last week or this week on the range, and each day I shot, I worked on basic dot drills, setting up a 2-inch dot at 10 yards and giving myself a par time or giving myself an allotted amount of time to draw and fire 5 shots within the circle in less than 3.5 seconds. Now, you can change those times however you see fit, but my point is you really want to work on your stance and your grip. Trigger control is absolutely key. Sight alignment is absolutely key, but I feel that there's more shooters out there that can shoot accurately, and then there's some shooters out there that can shoot quickly, but it's being able to do both at one time is what's very difficult. So I always ask folks to really work on their stance and grip, because what happens is if you have the proper stance and grip and you work on it enough and you perfect it over time and continue to work on it, you'll see your sight picture sooner, which is going to allow you the opportunity to shoot faster but still hit the targets, because anybody can shoot fast. And most people can shoot accurately with proper training. But having the ability to do both is what's difficult. So I'll give you this drill, and it's one of my favorite drills, and I call it 666. That's a drill myself and some buddies designed back in the Army years ago.
Okay, we only got a minute left. Go fast.
I'm sorry?
We only got a minute left, so go fast.
Okay, here I go. I can shoot fast. I can talk fast, too. So set up a target at 5 yards, 10 yards, and 15 yards, and it's 3 separate strings. String 1, you draw and fire 6 shots into target 1. Record your time. String 2, do it again, but on the 10-yard target. And string 3, repeat on the third, which is the 15-yard target. So now you're going to have a total of 18 shots. You're going to record your entire time. Maybe it's 15 seconds total. And then each time you shoot outside of the scoring ring that you particularly care for, maybe for me it's the A zone. So if I shoot a C, I'm adding 0.2 of a second. If I shoot a D, I'm adding a half second, and so on and so forth. So by the end of the day, you're going to find yourself shooting faster and more accurate, because you're basically putting yourself to the test on the clock.
There you go. Hey, Max, we got a break here. I got to run. Thank you so much. For more information, go to Max Michel with 1L, maxmichel.com. You can get training right there. We'll be right back.
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately? You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back. Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you, Tom Gresham here. Our number is 866-825-5486, or just dial, easy, 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. We'll get you in. You can also shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Over on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. By the way, this is the last week for the giveaway from Timney Triggers. Timney Triggers giving away a $750 gift certificate. Very cool. You get all sorts of triggers for your various rifles, AR styles, as well as your bolt-action rifles. They have gobs and oodles of good triggers. Also, they've got a lot of Timney trigger tension scales. That's basically, it's a trigger scale, okay? 10 going to be given away each week. To enter for a chance to win, you go to guntalk.com/win. That'll get you in there. Another mall shooting, huh? Okay, Maryland. We've got a guy goes in and shoots up a mall, kills some people. Let's see, how many ways can gun control fail? Okay, what we have is a gun-free zone, right? The mall is a gun-free zone, so that failed. We have a 19-year-old who bought a shotgun, went through a background check, so the background check failed. Oh, yes, and that whole assault weapon ban thing, this was a shotgun. That didn't work so well either. And, as long as we're talking about this, and thanks to Dave Workman over at Examiner.com, as long as we're talking about this, let's say we had the shooting at Arapahoe High School, shotgun, at a gun-free zone with somebody who passed the background check. We had the Navy Yard shooting in a gun-free zone with a shotgun, not the deadly, terrible assault weapon. And somebody who passed a background check. Gun controls don't stop crime. They don't reduce crime. They don't do anything other than to make it hard for you and me, good, honest, law-abiding people, to get guns. And also, of course, they make it possible, frankly, for the government to come back and retroactively tell you, you can't own that gun anymore, which is being done more and more across the country, state after state, where they say, I know that 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, when we required you to register your guns, we said we weren't going to take them away, but that's changed, and the situation's different, and now you can't actually own that gun, and since we know that you have one, we're just going to send you a letter that tells you to bring it in, and if you don't, we'll send the SWAT team to kick down your door and point guns at your children, which is what they're doing in some places. Yeah, how's that whole gun control thing working for you now? Man. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking with Mike Pfeiffer, the CEO of Ruger, about the microstamping. We'll get into that. A lot of things going on. In fact, let's talk right now. Line 2, Bob's with us out of Warrenton, Oregon. We'll talk about microstamping. Hey, Bob.
Yes. You just said it, and I heard that Smith & Wesson and Ruger may stop the sales of semi-automatic handguns in California because of this microstamping. They're going to microstamp the firing pins and the breeches of these pistols. And then I've also heard that should they do it, one of their side effects is that bad guys is going to go to the gun ranges and pick up the ammo and scatter those around at crime scenes.
I mean, conceivably, but ultimately what it amounts to is that this is an unworkable technology. In essence, the technology does not really exist. This is vaporware. This is gun banners nirvana. We will require manufacturers to do something that is physically impossible to do, and that way they can't sell any guns. What a great idea for gun banning. We're not going to ban guns. We're just going to say that you're not incorporating the latest safety features on your guns. So here's what's happening. And I'll give away a little bit of the punchline because Mike Pfeiffer is going to talk about this, but Ruger is not stopping sending guns to be approved by California. California is refusing to take any of the Ruger guns that have gone through the testing and should be listed on the roster because none of them incorporate microstamping because microstamping does not exist. So you have this weird Kafkaesque catch-22 thing going where we're going to require something that doesn't exist, and because your guns don't have it, now they can't be listed on the official roster. And in fact, the whole roster idea is unconstitutional. The idea that we would say some guns are okay, some guns are not okay. The Heller decision said you cannot ban a gun that is in popular use. I mean, that's a basic thing from the Supreme Court. That's what California does. They ban guns, the ownership of guns, that are in popular use. So really, the whole California roster scheme is unconstitutional, and that's a case that's working its way through the courts also. Bob, what are you hearing? Because, I know I've seen a lot of media coverage on this. What do you think about the whole California microstamping thing?
Okay, I just heard it on the end of Fox News. It was just right at the tail end that I caught it, and so then my wife found it online, and what they found out also, if they do micro print those firing pins in those breeches, that there are little tiny tools that are inexpensive to buy, in which you can file off these stamps.
Yeah, they're called nail files. A diamond nail file will take off that information. Here's the other thing that nobody's talking about. After you fire...
my question is, do you think this thing's going to fly in California?
It's already there. It's law. This is the current law in California.
Oh,
this is fact. This is done deal. It is in effect right now. Oh, it has been in effect for 6 months. There has not been a single semi-automatic pistol approved by California for sale in California for 6 months since this went into effect. None, not one.
Any guns, semi-automatics purchase is going to be purchased by the bad guy on the street then?
What it amounts to is that any gun that's currently on the roster, any gun that's currently on the list in California, can stay on the list. But if a manufacturer changes anything, if they say, okay, we're going to go to a different material for the thumb safety lever that's actually just a stronger material, not changing the characteristics of the gun at all, then California says, nope, that's a new gun. It falls off the list. You have to reapply. And when you reapply to get the gun back on the list, guess what? Now it has to have microstamping. So as each manufacturer upgrades, and they're always upgrading something about a gun, a material, the design, if you change the sight, anything on it, now it has to be resubmitted and it has to have microstamping. So it's a perfect scheme. It's beautiful. And the New York Times actually came out with an article 2 or 3 days ago. It basically said that Ruger and Smith & Wesson have decided not to participate in a gun safety program. What a bunch of hogwash. Hey, listen, I've got to run. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. 866-TALK-GUN. This is Gun Talk.
The world can be a dangerous place. Gear up with the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. Equipping your firearm with laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com and receive a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
Tired of overpaying for one concealed carry holster after another that is flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? At Alien Gear Holsters, less than $30 gets you a professional quality holster that's super stealthy and ultra comfortable. Every Alien Gear holster is backed by a forever warranty, a 30-day test drive, and free shell trades for life in case you buy a different gun. AlienGearHolsters.com. AlienGearHolsters.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Professionals who depend on their weapon depend on XS Sights, the leader in American-made gunfighter night sights for personal and home defense. One dot, one solution. See demonstration videos from top trainers and industry leaders at XSSights.com. Upgrade your carry gun, rifle, and tactical shotgun with XS Sights. Contact XS Sights at 888-744-4880 or visit XSSights.com. If you need a gun, you need XS Sights.
Want your opinion to make a difference? Log on to our website and take the Gun Talk poll, www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Tom.
Hey, you're only 20 minutes away from hearing the story about a guy who's walking down the street, open carry, perfectly legal, no problems. Cop comes out, and you can see it all in the dash cam, pulls his gun on this guy, forces him down on the ground because he's doing what? He is obeying the law. Detains him at gunpoint. And look, if you're being held at gunpoint, there's very much a chance you're going to get killed. All this guy's got to do is twitch a trigger finger, and you go away. So the guy files suit. Federal suit, not just a little local or a state suit. We'll get all that information in about 20 minutes. It's a great story. You want to hear about this because you know what? You got to start pushing back. You just have to start pushing back. Jeff is in Navarre, Florida, line 3. Hello, Jeff. You need a rifle?
Yes, I do. I had called you about 3 weeks ago. I'm purchasing a, you had recommended a 10/22. For my son. He's 22 years old, and he's finally decided he wants a weapon. And the unfortunate problem is he lives in New York State.
Okay.
And now with the new SAFE Act, I'm going to be restricted as to what I can actually buy him. Can you recommend a good single-shot 22, or do any of the listeners know of any of the older models of 22s that have less than a 7-round clip?
Let me ask you this. Are you talking about you're going to buy this gun in Florida and then you're going to send it to your son in New York State?
No, when he gets here next year for the holidays, he's going to get it. And he can drive it back up.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be legal that way. It won't be,
right. Just try to check
that.
all the boxes here. Certainly there are a lot of bolt actions out there that have 5-shot magazines. Kimber, on-shoots. There's some Remingtons. Take a look at some of the Marlins. A lot of those will work. Not a problem. When you start looking at semi-autos, most of the magazines are 10-round magazines or larger. One of the things I don't know, and I have to take a look at the New York law itself, is what happens to a tubular magazine. If the tubular magazine holds more than it's 5 or 7 rounds, whatever it is, does that make it prohibited? And I don't know about that yet, so I'd have to check on that. This is one of those cases where your son probably needs to be doing this legwork, as probably even more so than you. I mean, there's no reason for you to do this. He's 22 years old. He ought to be able to run this thing down and figure out what he wants and what's legal, and he can check it out in his state.
Wow, this is a gift.
I get it, but you know what? At a certain point, he ought to be able to participate in it. Just my thinking. I'd say, hey, I will pay for it for you, but he needs, just my thought, is he ought to be a part of the process. But, look, whatever you want to do, here's the thing. You need to do your homework. You need to become very familiar with the New York SAFE, which is actually an unsafe act, their new gun control law, which is awful, terrible thing. You might want to look at the New York Rifle and Pistol Association's website because they're kind of the go-to folks on that. I wish you luck with it, and congratulations on getting your son a gun. Hey, line 1, David's with us. Jacksonville, Oregon. I was going Jacksonville, Florida. Hey, David, how you doing?
You're on the West Coast.
You're way out in the West Coast. Yeah. So what?
Hey,
the
Tom,
NFL, the NFL's following they're following the Major League Baseball, aren't they?
Yeah. I understand that they are going to have anti-gun commercials aired during the program, but they won't do any of the pro-gun or gun advertisements.
They refuse to take the ad from Daniel DeFitz, but there's something else going on here that I want us to keep an eye on. Major League Baseball now is going to require all teams to put in TSA-like screening with metal detectors, either walk-through or handheld. Everybody who goes into a Major League Baseball game is going to be subjected to airline-style TSA-type searches. And I think where you're going, where I'd like to go with this, is every one of us needs to let Major League Baseball and the NFL know, you know what, we're not going. We are not going to your games. We will not buy another ticket. When you do this, you're saying you people are unwanted. And you know what? You're not making the place safer. People are getting stabbed. People are getting beaten to death on their way from the stadium back to their car. No. If I can't protect myself, you know what? I'm not going. Simple as that. Send a message to Major League Baseball.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
I was just online looking, and I wanted to remind you, most of the gun makers have guns that you don't ever get to see. It's weird, but it's true. In their catalogs, they don't show them at all. And these are called the distributor exclusives, and let me back up. A lot of gun makers sell not to dealers but to distributors, and then the gun stores buy from a distributor. And these distributors are places like Lipsey's, Davidson's, AccuSport, etc. And the distributors will sometimes do a deal and they'll have special guns made for them. Special colors, special caliber, special things. So when you go on the website, it's like I was looking at Ruger and looking at the exclusive distributor specials, there are dozens, probably 4 or 5 dozen different guns that don't show up in the Ruger catalog. And the same is true of a lot of gun makers. So if you're looking for something special and different that maybe your buddies don't have, take a look at the distributor specials from these various manufacturers. There's some really good stuff out there that you ought to take a look at. Let's see. Line 2, Pee-wee, Reno, Nevada. Pee-wee, what's up?
Hi, Tom. Hey, regarding gun-free zones,
mm-hmm.
The words in itself imply that if my presence is there, I will be safe from a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
However, suppose that guy bring a club, a knife, a big club or a big knife. That's
or a gun.
To make me safe. Now,
right.
On the other hand, maybe let's start changing that sign from gun-free zone to target-rich environment and give the individual a chance to evaluate their presence someplace and say, well, I may be free of guns, but still not being hurt. But however, I'm walking into a target-rich environment, which still exposes me to a hazard. How do we teach our public to start thinking like that?
You know what you have to do? You have to do it one at a time, because you can't do it through the media, because the media won't cover it. The media is totally on board with gun bans. They love gun-free zones. They love gun buybacks, which are really just buy-ups. They love restrictions on gun rights. They love the micro-stamping. They love bans on semi-automatic rifles. So the media is not going to carry this ball for you. So we're going to have to do it ourselves, and we're going to have to do it one by one, talking to everybody you can, get involved in your state organization. Maybe, and here's an idea, maybe your state gun rights organization starts to buy some billboards to put up, which basically says gun-free zone means target-rich environment. Don't expose yourself to this added liability or risk. There's a way to go, but there are ways to do that. But Pee-wee, I appreciate the call, and I agree with you. Let me talk with Jim in Farmington, New Mexico, along 4. Jim, talk to me.
Hi, Tom. Hey, I've got a real good gun control idea.
Okay.
Law. Anybody that commits a crime with a gun, like robbery, for example, or if they
mm-hmm.
kill somebody,
mm-hmm.
or if they just shoot somebody and they don't kill them, no matter what, if they do that, then they are to be executed. That should be a law. And I think you'd see the crime rate go down.
Okay, here's why I think that's a really bad idea. And I see these laws out there that say, well, there are additional penalties if you use a gun. What are we saying? We're saying that if you kill somebody with a baseball bat, that's bad. But if you kill them with a gun, that's much worse. Well, what we're doing is we're buying into the idea that guns are bad. I think we make a major mistake if we ever agree to enhanced penalties for the use of a gun in any crime. It's a crime. Whether it's a robbery, a break-in, a burglary, an assault, a murder, whatever it is, that's the crime. The tool, we can't possibly buy into the idea where we say, this crime is worse because you use this evil tool called a firearm. What are we doing to ourselves if we do that? And we do. We say, well, there should be additional penalties for the use of a gun. No, there should not. It's the crime, regardless of the tool used. We have to be very careful about this, and it's about messaging. And if we send out the message that using a gun makes a crime worse, my heavens, we might as well shoot ourselves in the foot, which is what we're doing.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.